صلوات. اعوذ باللہ من الشیطان الرجیم. بسم اللہ الرحمن الرحیم. الحمد للہ الواحد الاحد الحکیم الصمد الذی کان من عز صفاتہ انہ لم یلد ولم یولد وعرفنا بوحدانیتہ بقولہ ولم یکن لہ کفوا احد والصلاة والسلام علی العبد المؤید الرسول المسدد المصطفى الأمجد المحمود الأحمد أبي القاسم محمد اللهم صل على محمد وعلى أهل بيته الطيبين الطاهرين الذين أذهب الله عنهم الرجس وطهرهم تطهيرا. اللهم صل على محمد. أما بعد فقد قال الله تبارك وتعالى في كتابه المجيد وفرقانه الحميد. بسم الله الرحمن الرحيم. قد أفلح من زكاها وقد خاب من دساها. صلوات. Dear brothers and sisters in Iman, first of all, for the sponsors of the iftar and the majlis for tonight, and for their marhumeen and mawjoodeen, and for khair o barakat and sehat o salamti, please recite a loud salawat. Allahumma salli ala Muhammad wa ali Muhammad. As our everyday routine, I am given the list of our young fasters. Very young members of our community are fasting almost on daily basis. We read their names to encourage them and to tell them that we are proud of them. And we believe that they are, inshallah, going to be the bright stars of our community and future of Islam, inshallah. Khadija Ali, Misha Polara, Ayn Polara, Maria Sayyed, Batul Al-Dhurufi, Aun Java, Anisa Kanji, Hussain Ladha, Sakina Kanji, Ali Muhammad Kanji, Tuba Fatima Sarwar, Abbas Pira, Hassan Ali Kanji, Hasnain Raza and Asma Wazir. These are the young fasters who fasted today, and I am reading their name almost every day. For all of these youth and their wonderful parents, please recite a loud salawat. Allahumma salli ala Muhammad wa ali Muhammad. Brothers and sisters, as you all know, that these are the nights of sorrowness and sadness, the nights of aza and sugawari, and we are commemorating the most distinguished member of Ahlul Bayt and the Muslim community in its entire history. A man who had the honor of being called Kulle Iman. We don't have anybody else who was given this title of Kulle Iman. At the most, people are mu'min. Some people made the claim of being Amirul Mu'mineen for themselves. But nobody had the honor of being called as Kulle Iman. A man who was exemplary, a man who was standard, a man who was role model, a man who was a demonstration or manifestation of all the virtues of Anbiya-e ma sabaq, from Adam up till Isa alayhi salatu wassalam, could be seen in the life and the character of Ali Murtaza. Prophet has hadith. We are not making any claim from ourselves. That if somebody wants to see Adam in his ilm, man arada an yanzura ila Adam fi ilmihi wa ila Nuhin fi hilmihi wa ila Ibrahim fi khullatihi wa ila Musa fi haybatihi wa ila Yaqub fi sabrihi wa ila Yusuf fi husnihi wa ila Dawood fi quwwatihi wa ila Isa fi zuhdihi falyanzur ila wajhi Ali ibn Abi Talib. Life of Ali, as he makes rightfully a claim in his wasiyat, when he writes the wasiyat to his son Imam Al-Hasan Al-Mujtaba, he makes this claim that, "Oh my son, when I am writing this wasiyat for you, I have looked in the lives of all the Anbiya, as I have been with them, as I have been with every Nabi and every Rasul, and I am giving you a document not based on my personal experience, but this document contains the experience of 124,000 Anbiya." That makes this wasiyat very precious and very valuable. So my brothers and sisters, this majlis of tonight is actually majlis of wasiyat. You were hearing the Marsiya from our brother Ali Raza, that Imam was making wasiyat to his family. And this second majlis of these series of 3 majalis is actually majlis of wasiyat. First of all, because Imam made the wasiyat. The second thing is, wasiyat is very important piece of advice, because when somebody is departing from this dunya, and at end of his life, when he makes a wasiyat, he doesn't talk about things which are not important. You know, you have very limited time, you have very little energy left, you are on deathbed, you know you have very limited energy and you have very limited time. You only talk about something which is very important for you. And particularly if the person who is making wasiyat is a man like Ali ibn Abi Talib. So it's going to be the gist of his experience of his full life. And fortunately, we have that wasiyat. It is on the record of history, and as his wasiyat and his last words we will review, you will see, as he was distinguished in each and every aspect of his life, and he was different from others. He was very different from others even on his deathbed and when he was making wasiyat. You know my habit, I don't deliver the speeches which are divisive, and I don't promote the sectarianism, or I don't want to degrade anybody or insult anybody. But those who want to see it, there are 2 books which I can name. You go at your own and look. One book is written by Jalaluddin Suyuti by the name of Tarikhul Khulafa. Tarikhul Khulafa. It is written by Jalaluddin Suyuti, a very accomplished scholar. And the other book is Al-Faruq. I don't know how many of you have already read it. It was written by Shibli No'mani in India, a very accomplished scholar. And he wrote this book, Al-Faruq. You just look in these 2 books, go in the chapter of every of those celebrities and read what they were saying on their deathbed. Read those last words of these people when they were leaving this dunya. And then you read the words which were being uttered by Amirul Mu'mineen, Imamul Muttaqeen, Ali ibn Abi Talib alayhi salatu wasalam. So I'm not going to compare Imam with anybody. Our Imam is the only one that he makes the claim when he got striked, Fuztu bi Rabbil Kaaba. I have succeeded by the Lord of Kaaba. And he maintains this claim that I have succeeded, while others were saying that I wish my mother had not given me birth and I never had lived in this dunya, this kind of life which I lived. Or I wish if I was created an animal who was given enough, plenty of food, made fat and then slaughtered and then eaten away, and had no sense of accountability and responsibility when goes to God. These are the exact words of the celebrities on the deathbed. But this is Imam Ali, who is giving the pearls of wisdom even when he is dying and he is on deathbed. This was not only a sword, this sword was treated with poison. So Imam had experienced 2 things. One was the strike of sword, and the other thing was poison. And that is why historians have recorded that it was very painful to look at Imam at those last 1 or 2 days. Because he was not a man who was going to cry. He was not a man who was going to even say off. A strong man, a brave man, a man who was known for integrity, courage, hur, shaja, who was standard of manhood. And he is now poisoned and he is injured, but still maintaining the patience. In that most difficult time, Imam alayhi salatu wasalam is making a wasiyat. You can understand the concentration of Ali. See, when I will read this for you, you will see that this man at deathbed, in such a situation, is still so eloquent, so powerful, so focused, that he is flowing as the fountain of wisdom is flowing. And he is giving these pearls of wisdom. So it is very important for us, my brothers and sisters, to review this document. And it is my habit, I'm sure many of you know, that when I come to the majlis of Imam Ali, most of the time I avoid saying anything from myself. I try to bring the words of Imam Ali and only present those words of Ali for you. Because I am no one to speak on behalf of the best speaker. He was the Khatib Member Saluni, a man that who spoke the best and who wrote the best. If we want to talk about him, we have plenty of material from himself. So tonight, inshallah, I am going to review with you his wasiyat, because this is majlis of wasiyat. Inshallah, tomorrow I will have a very important majlis, and that is going to be the legacy of Imam Ali. We all always talk about the life of Ali before his death or before his shahadat. But tomorrow I am going to talk about the life of Ali after his death. Because Ali got more accomplished life after his death. And all this name and fame and prestige and accomplishment which we see, much of this has happened after his shahadat. So I will inshallah present tomorrow that what was the life of Ali after his shahadat, and what is the legacy of Ali, what is the contribution of Ali for humanity, for Islam, for society. So that will be inshallah majlis tomorrow, but today just reviewing that document of wasiyat of Imam Ali with you. Recite a salawat. And this wasiyat is actually, as you will see, giving us the gist of the teachings of Islam. Imam Ali, in his last attempt, is also delivering one final message and concise message of Islam, and telling us what is Islam all about. In Nahjul Balagha, Sayyid Razi has recorded this wasiyat in the second portion of Nahjul Balagha, where he records his writings. He speaks to his two sons, Imam Hassan and Imam Hussain in particular. First, as you will see, that the pronouns are here the pronouns of dual. In English, we don't have the pronoun for dual. In Urdu and Farsi, we don't have the pronoun for dual. But in Arabic, we have a pronoun for dual. We call it tathniya or musanna. And this is for two people. And by doing so, as next paragraph, Imam Ali will start speaking to his all sons and daughters and his family and friends and then all the followers, but to show the special respect to Hassan or Hussain, in the beginning, Imam speaks only to Hassan or Hussain. He singles them out from other brothers and from other members of family. And this was the pattern of Imam Ali in his life. That whenever time came, he singled out Hassan and Hussain from his other sons and from other members of family. And he made the point, it is in the record in Nahjul Balagha, that I am doing this, why? First for the pleasures of Allah, and then to please the Nabi Muhammad Mustafa sallallahu alayhi wa alihi wasallam. Because they are sons of Muhammad Mustafa. This is the attitude of Ali when he deals with these two sons. He doesn't look at them as his sons. Every time he respects them specially, just as sons of Prophet. In the interest of time, I'm moving forward, but these things are important. Sometime I just say very briefly and then move on, that you go and do your own research. In Nahjul Balagha, we have some documents where Imam Ali had made the wills for his endowments, awqaf which Imam Ali had established. And Imam Ali made the trustees for those awqaf or for those endowments and those charities which Imam Ali was leaving behind him. And then when he appoints the trustees, so he says, I appoint Hassan as my trustee for all of this awqaf. And then he says, because of seeking the pleasures of Allah and respecting to my Nabi Muhammad Mustafa sallallahu alayhi wa alihi wasallam, I am making Hassan. And then after Hassan, Hussain is going to be the trustee. And then if both are not there, then he says other people. So wherever time came, he makes a special distinction for them. So pattern is the same here. First, a few sentences, Imam is making wasiyat only to these two sons. Usikuma bitaqwallah. We know the pattern of Imam Ali. Imam Ali always starts his khutbah, his writing, his speech, his writing, advice, always first reminder is about taqwa. Usikuma bitaqwallah. I make wasiyat to both of you for taqwa ilahi. Wa an la tabghiya dunya wa in baghatkuma. And both of you should never run after dunya, even if this dunya runs after you. You both are not supposed to run after dunya, even if this dunya runs after you. Wala ta'safa ala shay'in minha zuwiya ankuma. And never feel worried or saddened, and never feel sorry when something from this dunya is held from you. Don't care about it. Then waqula bil haqq. Whenever you both speak bil haqq. Qula bil haqq wa'mala lil ajr. And whenever you do anything, do for ajre ilahi, not for any other motives. Whatever you do, only for ajre ilahi. And then very famous sentence which we are familiar with, وَكُونَا لِلظَّالِمِ خَصْمًا وَلِلْمَظْلُومِ عَوْنًا. And both of you are supposed to be an opponent for any tyrant and any oppressing individual, and always be a help and support for the mazloom and the oppressed one. Keep in mind, Imam Ali is not sitting in the rose garden and writing this as a poetry. He is saying this on deathbed, when he is injured, when he knows these are the last moments of his life. He is putting the message of Islam in perspective. And what are his priorities? Taqwa ilahi, never run after dunya. Whenever speak the truth. Whatever you do only for ajr ilahi. And oppose the oppression and support the oppressed one. After saying these some lines to Imam Hassan and Hussain, then he says, Usikuma wa jami'a waladi wa ahli wa man balaghahu kitabi. He says, I make wasiyat to both of you, to all of my children, to my family members, and to all those to whom this letter or this wasiyat reaches. To all those in the history until the day of judgment who will receive this document, I make this wasiyat to all of them. Again, when this wasiyat starts, the first item is bitaqwallah. And that shows, my brothers and sisters, the importance of taqwa. Many times we think taqwa is important, but maybe only for marja taqleed. Maybe only for Imam Jummah. Maybe only for the man who is in his 70s and retired from the dunya. Somebody on the wheelchair should be very muttaqi person. While if you know your Imam Ali, he begins his preaching, his mission, his message, his advice with the reminder of taqwa. And by the way, he is Imamul Muttaqeen. Imamul Muttaqeen. So taqwa, we have to also put as our first priority, my brothers and sisters. If we come here to cry for Imam Ali, if we come here to weep for Imam Ali, if we come here in these majalis of Imam Ali, so we should put taqwa as our first priority. After taqwa ilahi, Imam says, وَنَظْمِ أَمْرِكُمْ. And I advise you that you organize your affairs. Imam Ali is talking about organization when situation is almost chaotic. The Khalifatul Muslimin is leaving dunya. He is on deathbed. There is almost chaos in Syria and Iraq and everywhere. And after taqwa ilahi, the second most important advice of Imam Ali after taqwa ilahi is nazmul umur, that your affairs should be organized. Unfortunately, in our Shi'i community, when you try to organize people, people get offended. Because we never had the system of Jama'at, we never had organized communities. We were the people who were in hidings and in taqiyya and under persecutions, and everybody was just at their own. That is why we have, first of all, so many versions of deen, so many versions of everything. Everybody has his and her own, what you call, deen and madhab, and how things should be done and how things should be carried out. and then nobody is ready to listen to any authority, or nobody is ready to obey any authority. Because we have been all just at our own. While the community of Imam Ali should be the most organized community. Because Imam Ali is making the wasiyat of organization right after taqwa ilahi. وَنَظْمِ أَمْرِكُمْ, organize your affairs. Everything should be organized. And then the third most important thing was صَلَاحِ ذَاتِ بَيْنِكُمْ. And I advise you to maintain the good brotherly and sisterly relationship among yourselves at all levels. Salah Zat Bainakum, meaning everyone in community should maintain healthy, positive, peaceful, cordial relationship with others. No hostility, no gossip, no negative campaign against each other, no character assassination, no pull and push. You are followers of Ali Murtaza, who is in pain, who is poisoned, and who is on deathbed, and he is requesting you that maintain your positive relationship and good relationship with each other. We have to answer Ali. If really we feel concerned about Imam Ali, he is our leader, and he is on deathbed. And what he is telling us, that make peace among you. Make peace among you. Maintain good, positive, cordial, brotherly and sisterly relations with each other. No grouping, no dividing. And then he brings a quotation here, because this is very important. This issue is such that people always justify what they are doing against each other. مولا آپ بھی صحیح کہہ رہے ہیں، لیکن آپ کو یہ نہیں پتا کہ یہ آدمی کیسا ہے، جس کا جینا میں نے حرام کیا ہوا ہے، یہ آدمی بہت برا ہے. You don't know what he has done against me. آپ کی ایڈوائز بھی سر آنکھوں پہ، لیکن آپ میرے بھائی کو نہیں جانتے، آپ میری بہن کو نہیں جانتے، آپ میری ساس یا میرے سسر کو نہیں جانتے. مولا از aware of everything. That's why Maula is now bringing a quotation. Maula says, فَإِنِّي سَمِعْتُ جَدَّكُمَا صَلَّى اللَّهُ عَلَيْهِ وَآلِهِ وَسَلَّمَ. See, I heard from your grandfather. He was used to say, Salahu Zatil Bain afdalu min ammati salate was siyam. Prophet was used to say, going out and making peace among people is afdal than nafli namaz roza. If you have a choice to make nawafil and fast at home and do ibadat and recite Quran and recite dua, or leave your home, you found out there is a family which is quarreling. Some of your relatives have some problems, some of your friends have some problems, some of your community members have some issues. Then instead of doing nafli namaz roza, what Ali wants from us is to go out and make peace among these people. Wallah fil aitam fala tughibbu afwahahum wala yadhi'u bihazratikum. Then Imam Ali says, I remind you Allah about orphans in your families and in your communities. Islam is فَأَمَّا الْيَتِيمْ فَلَا تَقْهَرْ. So there are ayat in Quran about yatim. There are special considerations for yatim. And that is why when Prophet made the last will, he included yatim. Imam Ali is making the last will, he is making and including yatim. He says, I remind you, Allah, that you never ever forget these orphans, and these orphans shouldn't be lost while you are there in front of you. Wallah fallah fi jiranikum fa innahum wasiyatu nabiyyikum. I remind you, Allah, about your neighbors. About your neighbors. Because فَإِنَّهُمْ وَسِيَّةُ نَبِيِّكُمْ, because your Nabi was used to make special wasiyat about the neighbors. مَا زَالَ يُوصِي بِهِمْ حَتَّى ظَنَنَّا أَنَّهُ سَيُوَرِّثُهُمْ. Prophet was used to make that much wasiyat about neighbor that people started thinking that he will assign neighbor also some portion from the inheritance. اتنے حق حقوق پیغمبر بیان کرتے تھے ہمسائے کے کہ لوگوں کو یہ خیال ہونے لگا کہ پیغمبر ہمسائے کو بھی وارث بنا دیں گے. واللہ فی القرآن. Now we can understand, my brothers and sisters, that what are the priorities of Imam Ali and what are our priorities in our times. I am sure many of you would be bored of listening this kind of majlis, but if Imam Ali was sitting here, he would read the same majlis, because I am reading his majlis, which he was reciting laying down his deathbed. یہ چٹپٹی قسم کی مجلسیں اور کراری کراری مجالس یہ تو ہم نے خود بنا لی نا اپنے پاس سے کہ یہ مشکل کام نہ کرنا پڑے, ہوم ورک نہ کرنا پڑے. ورنہ نبی کی مجلسیں اور علی کی مجلسیں یہی ہوتی تھیں. And this is what Imam Ali is reciting. He is telling you what are priorities which you have to maintain in your life. And again, keep the time in mind when he is saying this. Wallah fil Quran la yasbiqukum bil amal bihi ghayrukum. I remind you your responsibility toward Quran. No one else should take lead on you by acting on Quran. That is the demand of Imam Ali. Imam Ali is not only asking that act upon Quran. No, he says no one else among Muslims should take lead on you in acting on Quran. The word is la yasbiqukum. Sabaqa yasbiqu, sabqat le jana. عربی میں جیسا اردو میں بھی استعمال کرتے ہیں, فلانا سبقت لے گیا. مولا کہتے ہیں کوئی اور تمہارے اوپر سبقت نہ لے جائے اس قرآن پر عمل کرنے میں. واللہ فی الصلاۃ. I remind you your responsibility towards salat. فَإِنَّهَا عَمُودُ دِينِكُمْ. Because this salat is the pillar of your deen. The salat is pillar of your deen. Amood is pillar. If today we see the situation of our community, mainly the reason is that this tent doesn't have the pillar. Majority of people don't pray, and those who pray, they pray sometime and they don't pray sometime because they are moderate Muslims. ماڈریشن کے یہی معنی ہے نا کہ کبھی حلال کبھی حرام, تھوڑا سا حلال تھوڑا سا حرام, تھوڑا سا حلوہ تھوڑا سا, وہ جو بھٹو صاحب نے کہا تھا, زیادہ نہیں بس تھوڑا سا. چونکہ ماڈریشن اسی چیز کا نام ہے نا ہمارے خیال میں. تو the issue is that if deen is a khayma, then the pillar of this khayma is salat. So now you can understand that if there is a tent and there is no pillar underneath, تو اس خیمے کا حال کیا ہوگا پھر؟ وہ آپ کے سر پہ گرے گا یا نہیں گرے گا؟ واللہ واللہ فی بیت ربکم لا تخلوہ ما بقیتم فإنہ ان ترک لم تناظروا. I remind you your duties and responsibilities toward the house of your Lord, yani Hajj and Umrah. Because if you left it alone or if you abandoned it, Allah will not look upon you. You won't receive the rahmat and barakat from Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. Wallah wallah fil jihad bi amwalikum wa anfusikum wa alsinatikum fi sabilillah. I remind you your responsibilities toward jihad bil mal, jihad bil nafs and jihad bil lisan. Imam is saying that you must engage in jihad bil mal, jihad bil nafs and jihad bil lisan. And Imam is not saying either with lisan, either with mal, either with nafs. He is saying all. Last few words which are very important. وَعَلَيْكُمْ بِالتَّوَاصُلْ وَالتَّبَاذُلْ. Here you can understand Imam Ali as a leader, Imam Ali as a community builder, Imam Ali as a visionary man. Imam Ali was not like Imam Masjid or Imam Jummah or like in these conventional Imams of our times. Their hammo gham is only just Masjid and only the things about Masjid. Imam mentions about Salat, Imam mentions about Zakat, Imam mentions about Hajj, Imam mentions about all those ibadat. But then, wherever he finds opportunity, he goes back to the same theme, and now he is again going back. He says, وَعَلَيْكُمْ بِالتَّوَاصُلْ وَالتَّبَاذُلْ. It is your responsibility to remain connected with each other and remain spending on each other. Tawasul is wasl. Wasl to jante hain na? Wasl, jodna. Alaykum, it is your duty, it is your responsibility to do what? Alaykum bit tawasul. Remain connected, remain in contact, remain organized and connected. Wat tabazul, and keep spending on each other. This spending on each other day after day is becoming very difficult because our own personal needs are increasing so much that we don't have any more funds or any more kind of concern about others. While spending on each other, that was also a special theme of our A'imma. Quran itself speaks about infaq. Yunfiqun, yunfiqun, yunfiqun. Quran talks about sadaqat, Quran talks about zakat, Quran talks about khums. And that famous riwayat that somebody came from Kufa to visit Imam Sadiq alayhi salatu wassalam. And he said, Mawla, you have so many Shias, you are still in Taqiyya. Please come out from Taqiyya. Now you have so many followers, so many Shias. Time has come where now you come out. Imam says, how many Shias I have? He says, oh, I cannot count. Countless Shias. Kufa chalak raha hai. Iraq chalak raha hai. Basra chalak raha hai Shion se. Full of Shias, full of Shias. Imam says, let me ask you one thing. He said, please. Imam says, does this happen in your city of Kufa that if somebody in need among you can just go and put his hand in the pocket of other brother and just takes out whatever he needs? He doesn't hesitate from putting his hand in pocket of brother, and this brother also doesn't get offended and doesn't feel bad about because why he put hand in my pocket and took all the money from my wallet. Does this happen in Kufa? The man says, Maula, no, I never saw that. And I don't think that this is going to happen in Kufa. Everybody keeps his own wallet for himself. Nobody wants to see somebody else putting his hand in his pocket. Imam says, then why are you saying that I have so many Shias? Why are you saying that Kufa شیعوں سے چھلک رہا ہے؟ اگر یہ میرے شیعہ ہوتے، جعفر صادق کی شیعہ ہوتے، تو ان سب کی جیسے ان کا امام ایک ہے، جیسے ان کا رسول ایک ہے، جیسے ان کا خدا ایک ہے، جیسے ان کا کعبہ ایک ہے، ایسے ہی ان کی جیب بھی ایک ہی ہونی چاہیے تھی. ایک صلوات پڑھیے بابا سے. لیکن I know that many of us will feel, پہ تو پھر سارے لیزی ہو جائیں گے جی، میں کماؤں گا سارے مفت میں کھائیں گے. Why lazy should come to me and I should pay their bills. فوراً یہی لاجک آ جاتی ہے نا سامنے. But if you read the teachings of your Aima, because your Aima were community builders, and particularly they were building a parallel community, because the official community was being built by those kings and by those khulafa. And your Aimma were building their own community, and they couldn't build a community without connecting people with each other and without asking people to spend on each other. If the wealthy was not taking care of the poor, then where this poor should go? He cannot go to the Khalifatul Muslimin because he is Shia of Ali. So this is why you will see in ahadith of every Imam, and here Imam Ali is saying, wa alaykum bit tawassul, get connected, remain connected, and keep spending on each other. Wa iyyakum wat tadabur wat taqatu, and you must avoid from turning back to each other and from getting disconnected from one another. Tadabur in Arabic is turning back to each other. Taqatu, cutting off yourself from others. And then the last thing what Imam says, and that distinguishes also every word. These are pearls of wisdom. A man is not saying anything about himself or his family. He is all worried about community, all worried about society, all worried about his followers. Then he says, Ya Bani Abdul Muttalib, La ulfiyannakum takhuduna dima al-muslimin, khawzan taquluna qutila amirul mu'minin. O my family, O Bani Abdul Muttalib, I don't want to see that here I leave this world and you take your swords and you go in the streets of Kufa and in the cities of Muslims and you say, since Amirul Mu'mineen got killed, so now we are going to kill anybody that who had hand in this killing. I don't want to see anybody taking law and order in hand. I don't want to allow anybody to go and take revenge at its own. Never do bloodshed in my name and in my murder or in my shahadat. La taqtulunna bi illa qatili. Never kill anybody except someone who has killed me. Never kill anybody else. And in other document we have where Imam says to Hasan-e-Mujtaba that if I survived, I will see whether I should forgive him or I should punish him. And then if you decide to punish him, then according to the Islamic system of qasas, and Imam says never kill anybody. La taqtulunna bi illa qatili. Only my qatil should be killed, not anybody else. And how you should kill him? Unzuru idha muttu min darbatihi hazihi ma fadribuhu darbatan bi darbatin. That is the Adl Ali. That is Adl Ali. That is the character of Ali. Imam says that, see, when I am gone, you go, and if you decide to kill him, darbatan bi darbatin, He striked only once. One strike. You are also allowed, according to the Islam, to strike only once, not twice. ضربتن بضربتن ولا یمثل بالرجل، اور اس بیچارے کا مسلح نہ کرنا. چونکہ کمیونٹی میں غیظ، غضب، اینگر بھرا ہوا تھا کہ اس آدمی کا تو تیا پانچا کر دیا جائے، جس نے یہ حرکت کی ہے تو اس کو کاٹ کے اس کا قیمہ کر دیا جائے، اس کی ہڈی بوٹی الگ کر دی جائے. لیکن علی کہتے ہیں نہیں، اس نے صرف ایک وار کیا تھا. عدالت علی اور عدالت اسلام یہ کہتی ہے کہ تم بھی بس ایک ہی وار کرو، اور خبردار کہ اس کی ناک کاٹنا، خبردار کہ اس کے کان کاٹنا، خبردار کہ اس کے ہاتھ کاٹنا، خبردار کہ اس کے پیر کاٹنا، اس لیے کہ یہ شریعت اسلام میں جائز نہیں ہے. تو عزیزان گرامی، یہ وصیت جو ہے مولا نے کی ہے کس عالم میں؟ جبکہ تڑپ رہے ہیں. حالت یہ ہے کہ روایات میں کہتے ہیں کہ ایک پاؤں جو ہے اس کو یوں درد کی شدت سے اوپر اکٹھا کرتے تھے، سمیٹتے تھے، اور پھر جب درد شدید ہوتا تھا تو تھوڑا سا پھر اس پاؤں کو چھوڑ دیتے تھے اور دوسرے پاؤں کو سمیٹتے تھے. اور چہرے کا رنگ یہ ہو گیا تھا کہ پٹی باندھی ہوئی تھی سر پہ زرد رنگ کی، تو اب چہرے کے اوپر چہرے کا رنگ اور پٹی کا رنگ ایک ہو گیا تھا. چہرے کا رنگ بھی زرد اور پٹی کا رنگ بھی زرد، اور پتہ نہیں چلتا تھا کہ کہاں پٹی ہے اور کہاں چہرہ ہے. کہ اتنے میں وہ جو جراح تھا، جو علاج کر رہا تھا، وہ آیا اور اس نے آ کے پٹی کو کھولا، اور جب زخم کو دیکھا، بدقسمتی سے یہ زخم وہیں پہ لگا جہاں پہ جنگ احد میں پہلے مولا کو تلوار لگ چکی تھی، اور یہی حصہ جو ہے زخمی ہوا تھا جنگ احد میں، اور پھر وہ زخم جو ہے مندمل ہو گیا. اسی زخم والی جگہ پہ گویا کہ دوبارہ تلوار لگی. اب جب اس نے سر کو، وہ پٹی کو کھولا اور اندر زخم کی حالت دیکھی، تو اس نے کہا کہ یا علی، بس یہ وصیت کا وقت ہے، آپ وصیت کر لیجیے. اب جو آپ کو وصیت کرنی ہے، اب کوئی آپ کے بچنے کے امکانات نہیں ہیں. جب اس نے یہ کہا ہے، کہتے ہیں پردے کے پیچھے اتفاق سے ام کلثوم کھڑی تھی. اب باپ کو حکیم یہ کہے اور بیٹی سن رہی ہو، تو ایک مرتبہ جو ہے وہ ام کلثوم کی چیخ نکل گئی. بس آواز گریے کی بلند ہوئی، پورے گھر والوں کو خبر ہو گئی کہ وصیت کا وقت آ گیا. مولا نے اپنے بچوں کو اکٹھا کیا، اپنی گھر والیوں کو اکٹھا کیا، اولاد کو اکٹھا کیا، ان کو وصیت کی. پھر اصحاب کو اکٹھا کیا، ان کو وصیت کی. کبھی اس کو وصیت، کبھی اس کو وصیت، کبھی اس سے خدا حافظ، کبھی اس سے خدا حافظ. اور گھر میں جیسے گھر والے آس پاس جمع ہیں، اصحاب دروازے پہ دھاڑے مار مار کے رو رہے. آپ اندازہ نہیں کر سکتے کہ علی کے چاہنے والے کیسے کیسے تھے. لوگ اپنی تلواریں اپنے ہاتھ سے اپنی گردن پہ رکھ کے کھڑے ہوئے کہ مولا یہ کیسے ہو گیا کہ ہم زندہ رہ گئے اور ہمارے سامنے آپ شہید ہو گئے. طے تو یہ تھا کہ ہم قربانی دیں گے، طے تو یہ تھا کہ ہم آپ کے سامنے تڑپیں گے اور ہم آپ کے سامنے قتل ہوں گے. مگر یہ کیسے ہو گیا کہ ہمارے ہوتے ہوئے، ہماری زندگی میں، ہمارے سامنے آپ شہید ہو گئے. اسبغ ابن نباتہ کے بارے میں ملتا ہے کہ مولا کا چاہنے والا تھا اور دھاڑے مار مار کے دروازے کے اوپر رو رہا تھا کہ ایک مرتبہ مولا سے کہا گیا کہ مولا اسبغ مر جائے گا دروازے کے اوپر، ایک لمحے کے لیے اپنے دیوانے کو اندر بلا لیجئے. مولا نے کہا کہ چلو بیویوں ایک طرف ہو جاؤ، میرے اصحاب کو آنے دو. اصحاب آئے، جن میں اسبغ آیا، گر گیا ایک مرتبہ مولا کے پیروں کے اوپر. مولا کوئی صورت ہو سکتی ہے ہماری زندگی آپ کو لگ جائے؟ مولا کوئی صورت ممکن ہو سکتی ہے کہ ہماری زندگی آپ کو لگ جائے؟ مولا نے کہا کہ بس ہر کسی کا ایک اپنا وقت ہے، اب وہ وقت آ گیا ہے اور ہم جا رہے ہیں، خدا حافظی کا وقت ہے۔ اسباق اور صحابہ کو خدا حافظ کیا، بیویوں اور بچوں کو بٹھایا، وصیتیں کرنا شروع کر دیں۔ جب وصیتیں کر چکے نا تو روایت میں ہے کہ مولا نے ایک طرف سے حسن مجتبیٰ کو بلایا، پھر اپنے سارے بیٹوں کو بلایا، ایک ایک بیٹے کا ہاتھ لیا اور حسن مجتبیٰ کے ہاتھ میں دیا، ایک ایک بیٹے کا ہاتھ لیا اور حسن مجتبیٰ کے ہاتھ میں دیا اور کہا بیٹا اب حسن تمہارا باپ ہے، بڑا بھائی باپ کے برابر ہوتا ہے، اور حسن یہ تمہارے چھوٹے بھائی ہیں، چھوٹے بھائی اولاد کے برابر ہوتے ہیں، حسن ان کا خیال کرنا اور بچوں حسن کی بات سننا۔ وصیتیں ہو چکی کہ ایک چھوٹے شہزادے ابو الفضل العباس روتے روتے ام البنین کے پاس پہنچ گئے، ماں کی قدموں پہ ہاتھ رکھ دیے، کہا ماں کیا بابا مجھ سے ناراض ہیں؟ کیا بابا مجھ سے ناراض ہیں؟ کہا کیوں میرے چاند، کیوں میرے شہزادے، بابا آپ سے کیوں ناراض ہوں گے؟ کہا بابا نے سارے بھائیوں کے ہاتھ پکڑ کے بھیا حسن مجتبیٰ کے ہاتھ میں دیے اور ان کو وصیت کی، اور میرا ہاتھ جو ہے وہ کسی کے ہاتھ میں نہیں دیا ہے، بس یہ سننا تھا۔ ام البنین آئیں، ایک مرتبہ علی کے پائنتی پہ آ کے علی کے پیروں پہ ہاتھ رکھا اور کہا مولا کیا عباس سے کوئی ناراضگی ہے؟ کیا عباس سے کوئی ناراضگی ہے؟ کہا نہیں تو ہم عباس سے کیوں ناراض ہوں گے؟ کہا پھر عباس رو رہے ہیں، عباس رو رہے ہیں اور عباس یہ کہہ رہے ہیں ایک مرتبہ یہ سننا تھا۔ علی کی آنکھوں میں آنسو آ گئے، کہا میرے مسافر حسین کو بلاؤ۔ ایک طرف سے حسین کو بلایا، ایک طرف سے ابو الفضل العباس کو بلایا۔ اب دونوں کو بلا کے مولا نے بجائے اس کے کہ ابو الفضل العباس کا ہاتھ حسین کے ہاتھ میں دیا ہوتا، اب بڑے بھائی کا ہاتھ چھوٹے بھائی کے ہاتھ میں، یعنی بڑے بھائی کا ہاتھ چھوٹے بھائی کے ہاتھ میں دیا۔ اور پھر علی نے کہا میرے ابو الفضل العباس میں حسین کو تمہاری ضمانت میں دے رہا ہوں، میں حسین کو تمہاری ضمانت میں دے رہا ہوں، اور میں نے دعائیں کر کے تمہیں حاصل کیا ہے۔ میرے بیٹے تم نے حسین کی حفاظت کرنی ہے۔ عزیزان گرامی وصیتیں تمام ہوئیں۔ ایک مرتبہ دیکھا انا للہ و انا الیہ راجعون، روح علی نے پرواز کی۔ میں سمجھتا ہوں آسمان پہ صفے ماتم بچھ گئی، جبریل ماتم کر رہے ہیں، میکائیل و اسرافیل ماتم کر رہے ہیں، مومنین ماتم کر رہے ہیں۔ میں کہتا ہوں آج محراب مسجد ماتم کر رہا ہے، ارے ممبر کوفہ ماتم کر رہا ہے، ارے آج ہر کوئی ماتم کر رہا ہے کہ سب سے اچھا صحابی اور سب سے اچھا نمازی اور سب سے اچھا قاری اس دنیا سے رخصت ہوا۔ انا للہ و انا الیہ راجعون وسیعلم الذین ظلموا ای منقلب ینقلبون۔ پروردگار ہماری اس قلیل سی عبادت کو قبول و منظور فرما، پروردگار ان آنسوؤں کو قبول فرما، پروردگار اس آہو نالے کو قبول فرما، پروردگار ہماری اس عبادت کو قبول فرما، پروردگار اس مجلس کے بانیان اور اسپانسر جو ہیں پروردگار ان کی دعاؤں کو قبول فرما، ان کی حاجات کو پورا فرما، ان کے مرحومین کی مغفرت فرما، موجودین کو صحت و سلامتی عطا فرما۔ پروردگار جتنے بھی مومنین و مومنات مجلس میں حاضر ہوئے ہیں پروردگار سب کے مرحومین کی مغفرت فرما، موجودین کو صحت و سلامتی عطا فرما، دعاؤں کو قبول فرما، حاجات کو پورا فرما، ہمارے مریضوں کو شفائے کامل و عاجل عطا، بالخصوص ہماری کمیونٹی کے مریض اور جن مریضوں نے التماس دعا کے لیے کہہ رکھا ہے ان کو شفائے کامل و عاجل عطا فرما۔ پروردگار ان ایام میں عزاداری ہو رہی ہے اور تیرے بہترین بندے کا ماتم ہو رہا ہے عراق کے اندر، پاکستان کے اندر اور دنیا جہان میں، ہماری اس عزاداری اور ہمارے عزاداروں کی حفاظت فرمانا۔ بہت سارے جلوس راستے میں ہیں، پروردگار ان کی حفاظت فرما۔ پروردگار ہمارے جوانوں کی حفاظت فرما، ہمارے بچوں کی حفاظت فرما، سلطان عادل کا جلد ظہور فرما۔